How's it going, everybody? Welcome back to the second part of our butler's pantry build. We're really excited to show you how this project turned out, so let's not waste any time and we'll just dive right in. All right, in this section, we're doing a dry fit of the base cabinets and butcher block countertop. These cabinets and butcher block we got at the Home Depot. They're unfinished cabinets that are ready to paint or stain, and they worked really well for this project. Okay, in this part, my wife is doing a quick repaint of this room to get rid of any scratches and do just a light coat to freshen up the room. Okay, the next step is to attach all the cabinets together. We're using some skinny cabinet screws to attach these together. They work good to not split the wood. And then we just use some regular screws to attach the cabinets to the wall.
In this clip, I'm painting the cabinet doors. I start by painting the inside edges with a paintbrush, then switch to a small roller. This eliminates any brush lines to give you a smoother finish.
Okay, in this clip, I'm cutting the baseboard with a little notch in it so it would fit the tall, skinny cabinet that we're putting in this corner. And then we just need to attach this cabinet to the wall as well. Okay, here my wife's rehanging the doors that she took off to paint. It really is a lot easier to paint these doors if you remove them. Okay, in this clip, we're getting ready to strip a 2x4 that we will use in the corner shelves. I'm going to cut a little notch out of these boards so that they can create a cross overlap for the support structure of the corner shelves. Okay, it's time to cut out the top board for the corner shelves. As you can see, it was difficult for this board to fit into place. I had to remove this top support bracket for the board to be able to fit. In this clip, we're putting a faceplate on this corner shelf, and then we're filling it up, the crack between the shelf and the faceplate, with a little wood filler. Okay, we're going to strip a 2x4 for the internal structure of the floating shelves. I'm using a 16-foot 2x4 that will span the length of the entire pantry. which is about 15.5 foot long. It's time to start cutting the cross pieces for the floating shelves. You can see that I attached a 2x4 to the chop saw so that it would create a jig, and I can cut these cross pieces quickly and easily. Okay, next we're attaching all the internal structures together, the long 15.5 foot boards with all the cross structures. Here I'm finding and marking all the studs in the walls so that when we put the shelf up, we know exactly where to attach it. Okay, here I am using the table saw to cut out the top plate out of a 4x8 sheet of 1/2 inch plywood. Okay, time to strip another 2x4. We got 2 more floating shelves to go. Now that we got the main part of the floating shelves in, it was time to just do the little side piece on the very end. After I cut a few more top plates, it was time to glue them down and nail them in place. Here I'm just doing a quick sanding of the edges so that they're not rough when they're up on the shelves. If you watch close here, I nail a section of this twice because my nail gun had run out of nails and I didn't know it. Hate it when that happens. In this clip, I've got to build 2 more of those end shelves. Now I'm going to cut out the under plates for the floating shelves. For this I used 1/4 inch plywood. Okay, gluing these on was a lot trickier. The glue would drip off, and I really didn't find a good way. If someone has a good way of gluing underneath shelves like this, please leave us a comment. Okay, it's time to put the face plates on the floating shelves. These really finishes them up and makes them look nice. The shelves were really sturdy, but I decided 15.5 feet was a little bit too long, so I decided to put this center brace in. This linked all 3 shelves together, and it actually made the shelves a lot more solid. Okay, here my wife's starting to paint these corner shelves, and then we're putting wood filler in the nail holes and all the cracks. We stripped more of the 1/4-inch plywood to create a kick plate under the base cabinets. It's always easier to paint these kick plates and also baseboards before you put them in. Here I'm just cutting a notch out of the baseboard for the other end of the cabinet.
Here I am starting to paint the floating shelves. We started with primer and then used a Sherwin-Williams color called Jogging Path. I used it in what is called an emerald trim enamel. I like this type of paint for cabinets and shelves. It just gives it a really smooth finish. It's a type of paint that levels out so that you don't see the lines and the roller marks.
In this clip, we're opening up the butcher block countertop. The manufacturer suggests not taking the plastic off this until about 48 hours before you're going to seal them. Okay, it's time to cut the butcher block. We're using a straight board to get a really straight edge, and we're using tape along the cut so that we don't get a lot of splinters from using the circular saw. Here we're using a Kreg pocket hole jig. It allows you to drill holes into the countertop at the perfect length. The kit comes with different lengths of screws. This allows you to easily attach the 2 pieces of countertop together. There are a lot of different kits on Amazon. I'll leave a link in the description for one of them. In this clip, I'm using the screws from the Kreg kit to attach the 2 pieces of butcher block together. I'm also attaching these metal plates that will not only keep the butcher block together, but it'll also keep the height even across the top. We just had a tiny piece over here in the corner that needed to be put in place. I'm going to use these L brackets to attach the counter to the base cabinets. A really light sanding and of course cleaning it off with cloth before we started to put the mineral oil to seal the countertop. It took about 4 different coats of applying this. You put it on and you wait for it to soak in for about 30 minutes to an hour, and then you apply the next coat. The butler's pantry was really coming along, and even though everything wasn't finished, my wife got pretty excited about moving things into the drawers, cabinets, and the shelves. We decided to put an LED light strip just under the bottom shelf. I think it turned out really great. The easiest way to put up the brackets that held the LED light strip was just to lay on the counter, so that's what I did. My wife wanted to put in a new overhead light. What's neat about this light is it has a motion sensor built in, so it'll come on as soon as we walk into the pantry. We had the cabinet shop that built our cabinets for our home build a cabinet to match our existing kitchen cabinets. We then took the knobs off the upper cabinets that used to be here and added them to this new cabinet so that they would all match. Okay, now that the cabinet was in, I could finish up the baseboards and get them nailed into place. We also got our handles in and got this plastic guide off of Amazon to help mark the spots to drill the holes for the new handles. I'll leave a link in the description so you can check this out. All right, everyone, that finishes up our butler's pantry build. We had a lot of fun building this, and I think it turned out really great. What do you think?
I love it.
Be sure to stay tuned in for more upcoming videos and projects so you can be up to date on how's it going.